Hey folks, welcome back to the Dormouse's desk. This is another edition of Currently Inked in Chat, and today we have many exciting things. Of course, we have inks and we have pens, but we also have new product alert for the Dormouse's desk, and it is currently, right now as we speak, up on Etsy. So let's start out with the thing that I'm most excited about first, and then we can move into the currently inked, and we've got some good ones this month. So without further ado, you all may or may not be aware that I created these labels for ink sample vials. They look like this on the vial, and so each label has a corresponding lid. But it's not always, you're not always receiving ink samples that you also have to label. And so I created sheets of just tops. So these are perfect if you order a lot of samples, or maybe you do the ink flights and so you get 7 brand new samples every month. If you were to just, if you were to use these along with ink flight, you would have way more labels than you would have lids. So I now have up on my Etsy page, it's actually the exact same URL. So now the product page for this is also the product page for this. This is just going to be a variation on there. If you want to order just tops, they're in a pack of 3 as opposed to a pack of 5 of these. Or you can order both of these together, so you could do 100 full samples and then 270 tops, and you get a little bit of a discount there. So that's what's new and exciting for Dormouse products. New tops, yay! So, currently inked. Y'all know, if you watched last month's, which honestly was not that long ago, if you watched last month's Currently Inked, I got a few pens right towards the end of the month. And so I inked them towards the end of the month, which is sort of unfair because I didn't have a whole month to write them out. But I also just started school, and I've been writing a lot. I've been writing so much. You might remember that I had this inked up with Graph von Faber-Castell Cognac Brown. I love that ink. That's probably definitely going to become a bottle. I'm gonna have to buy a bottle. And I filled this twice. I had to refill it twice, and now I'm completely out of that sample. So that was a bummer. I also finished up the rest of the fill of my Jinhao X159 really soon into the month, and that had Sailor Yamadori in it. Isn't this brown so pretty? Oh, I love it so much. And so the only one that I didn't finish, oh, and I did finish 252 as well. The only one I haven't finished yet is Deck the Halls, but I'm like well on my way. So anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into January's Currently Inked. So we'll do this one. We'll do this one first because it's the most bizarre. Generally, I wouldn't put this pen back to back in back to back months. I wouldn't do that for any pen, not just this pen, but I wouldn't do that for any pen because now I have a larger collection that I can stand not to have something inked up over a month. But the reason I inked this up is because I have modified it with a Pilot Parallel. And the threading on this is just perfect. It just happens to be perfect. This does not happen with all of my maker pens. It's just this one, and I literally sat here with all of my pens to try to see what pen this would fit in. So this is I don't think this redeems this pen in my eye. Like, I'm still not 100% enamored with this body. And the section, of course, is just the Pilot Parallel section. But it is more interesting than just the regular Pilot Parallel section, which is here. Especially, I guess, if you don't like really long pen bodies, this might, you know, if you have one of these lying around and you want to mod it, this is an easy mod. So anyway, this is okay, let's go by nib size, because that seems appropriate. Okay, I know I literally just said that I don't usually do the same pen back to back, but I was disappointed. I was really disappointed that I put not the right Sailor Ink Studio ink in this pen last month. And because I got it so late in the month, I really wanted to continue using it. So this is Sailor Pro Gear Winter Sky. This is a music nib. This is Sailor 223. And that's exactly the ink that I wanted for this pen. Okay, so we'll do a little swatch. Do a little swatch, make a little mess. I still really love this writing with this pen. The nib is a lot of fun. The ink needs to be on the wetter side. This one is a little bit wetter than last month's ink, which I found I was getting a lot of railroading, but still sometimes with like eyes, dotting eyes and things like that, I have to go back over and redo them again. So I think with an even wetter ink, it could be pretty stellar, but I'm not displeased with it. I'm still learning. So that's that. So this is the Kaweco All Sport in Iguana Blue. This is a double broad nib. And I was so bummed. Originally I was going to do a Colorverse ink in here. Now I forget which one it was. But I went to open the bottle. It was one of those tiny little bottles. I went to open the bottle and the dang thing wasn't closed down all the way. So it had all evaporated. I was so bummed. So we went with this one, but this is a good choice. This is Robert Oster Marine. And this one, I enjoy the shading on a lot, especially in this nib. So this is it. And out of focus, but yeah, this is Robert Oster Marine. Okay, next up is my TWSBI Eco in Glow Purple, and this one is the carryover from last month. I really enjoyed this ink. I'm about halfway through the fill of this pen, and I filled this pen. So yeah, I've found that it behaves really pretty well. No issues at all, and the shimmer, sometimes, I don't know, sometimes it'll be well distributed and sometimes the shimmer will just all land on like the first sentence, and then like somewhere in the middle of a page of writing, like you'll get like a bunch of shimmer again. And I guess it's, you know, it's part of the nature of shimmer inks, but I would prefer more even just distribution. And it could be user error. I could, you know, be better at agitating the pen, you know, as I use it. But sometimes I need to jot something down quick. So I don't want to spend a lot of time shaking my pen around. It's probably another reason why I don't particularly care for shimmer inks. Just like a little extra layer of hassle. You know, they don't always stick to the page, blah, 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 blah. Okay, anyway, next up. Ooh, very similar pen. If you haven't already seen comparisons between these two pens, here's one. So this bottom one is the Glow Purple, this top one is Lilac. They're very similar. The Glow Purple has a little bit more transparency to it. It's sort of like more of like a washed out looking color, but they're really super similar. I don't think there's any reason why you should have both of these colors. And the only reason I have this one is because I bought it first, and then, you know, TWSBI came out with the glow colors, and then I had to buy that. But the plan was to sell this one. The problem is that I've been writing so many notes. I've been writing so many notes lately that it's been really useful. Oh, and let me clarify. I've been writing so many notes on not great fountain pen paper that having a finer nib has been beneficial. Some of the broader nibs tend to bleed through. They don't necessarily feather on the paper that I'm using, but I get more ghosting on the back of the page, and I have to write on the back of the page. I can't. I can't not. The notebooks are too small. I have to write on the back of the page, so that's why I chose a fine nib this month. And yeah, so at least for this month, I'm keeping this pen. I say that, but I'm probably just definitely going to keep it. Anyway, this is a TWSBI Eco in fine. This fine nib is really nice, and it pairs really well with the ink. And this is a Kobe. What number is this? Number 32. Tamon. Purple gray. I really like this ink. It doesn't take forever to dry. It behaves really well. I like the color. Super easy to see. It sort of reminds me of KWZ, what do they call it, Gray Plum. But I actually prefer this one to that one. You can see, I hardly have anything left of it. Let's such a pretty color. And that probably didn't do it justice because it's hard to scoop some out. But yeah, so this is also on my want list of bottles of inks. But yeah, so I've been digging that one. Okay, finally, one of my pen friends knew I was coveting a certain pen, and so they decided that the month or the year that I really wanted to do a no-buy, that they would offer me a pen that I coveted for like a crazy price. And so within the first week, I broke my no-buy. I mean, we, of course, justified it correctly. that it wasn't really that it was a no-buy, it was a gift exchange. Anyway, this is a Sailor Pro Gear Old Fashioned, and this has a medium nib on it. And I adore this pen. I love the way it writes. This fits so nicely in the hand. Obviously, it feels the same as this one does. This is the same size pen. But this is the Old Fashioned. And medium nib. So I've been taking lots of notes lately, and this has been a primary note-taking pen for me. I have refilled this cartridge 3 times this month. Actually, what is today? Today's the 19th. I've refilled this cartridge, and I think I got it probably around the 8th. So in the last 11 days, I've refilled this cartridge 3 times. So yes, I do enjoy this pen a lot. It's great for note-taking. Very comfortable. This ink I was supposed to send to Miss Turtle, but it eluded me. So it was sort of a happy find, and I really like how it matches the pen. I swear I meant to send it to you, Miss Turtle, but it didn't want to be sent. What I found with the Yorimiku inks, at least the ones that I've had in pens, which is this one and Yoi, is that these are not like the Manyo inks, which I think the Manyo inks are just a tad bit drier than these. These, in my experience, again with those two, flow really well out of pens. And so it's been a joy to use this ink. It's really beautiful. If you're into these sort of like murky, dirty, multi-shading colors, like I think that you would really like any of them in this Yorimiku line. They're really pretty. Okay, so I will let all of these dry and I'll come back and we'll take a look at the dried swatches. Okay, everything's dry. There's sort of a surprising amount of black sheen on the Pilot Black. So that's nice to see in like the big swatchy area. I don't necessarily notice it in the smaller writing a little bit and the broader writing up at the top. Sailor 223, beautifully shaded. Works really well in these broad nibs, so you can see more of the shading. I've not tried it in a smaller nib, so it might also be good there, but really lovely here. And I love with a little bit of water you get some of that green color that comes out. Robert Oster Marine in the big pool here. There is like a haloing of some red sheen on the back, barely visible in the writing, and in longer writing samples in my Hobonichi, I've not noticed any sheen at all. A little bit of bleed through in that really heavy spot, but overall, you know, I think it behaves pretty well. There is some, like I said before, some nice shading in this. And it's a different color. It's a little bit bluer in the lighter bits, and then green in like the heavier pooled bits. And then Deck the Halls. We looked at this last month, but we'll look at it again. Look at all that beautiful shimmer. From the monitor here, it kind of looks like you're not getting that various shimmer color. It's just all sort of that purple, but in certain light you also can get like a golden color. That seemed to lay down the shimmer really well in the writing, like all of the writing there. The Kobe ink, this is sort of unexpected. I've not swatched it out on Tomoe River paper yet. So this is the first time I've done that. I did not know that there was like a gold sheen. And I certainly don't see it in the writing, especially with the fine nib. I don't see any sheening there. But that's nice to know that it actually does sheen. And then the Yurimiku, you get some really pretty purples in here, the greens. It's a really beautiful ink. So yeah, I'm not displeased with any of these. The one that I'll probably use the least is this one. Well, because it's it's just like, how often do you need to write with that white of a nib? So this is this month's currently inked, and I'm really glad that I'm doing it in the middle of the month, because I'm not sure how much longer some of this ink is going to last with all the notes I've been taking. But I have no regrets about any of these. I really enjoy all of these pens and all of these inks. You know, the Pilot Parallel being sort of what it is, and the Woodshed body being sort of what it is. It's fine. It's fine as a Franken pen. But yeah, you can see nib fits like perfectly in there. So yeah, this was you know, a good start. It's a good start to the year. And also tops. All right, so if you're itching for these are up. You can go ahead and go over to my Etsy. The Dormouse's Desk is the name of my shop. If you don't want to follow the link in the description, you can just search for the Dormouse's Desk, and this should pop up immediately. And you can choose between all tops or the normal set, like the regular set, or you can do a bundle of all tops and the regular set together and save yourself some money. So yeah, I appreciate y'all sticking it out with me this month, and hear me ramble about my fun new project and how much writing I've been doing. I hope you have enjoyed this. I know it was sort of purple heavy this month, but you know, sometimes you just feel a certain color, and so you need to express it. And you know, I needed like darker illegible inks. So anyway, thanks again. I hope you have a great one, and I'll see you next time. Bye.